How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. So, I'm really excited for this episode. I have to admit, I really don't know if I can adequately explain why. I am just having a blast with the Michiru route. I think it's a combination of the fact that I find her amusing as a character. Like a lot of the interactions with her have been really funny. I think the story about her having the two personalities that are very clearly distinct, one being aware of the other and the other not being aware, is really fascinating. And really, I'm excited to learn more. And I can't help but actually feel a lot of kinship with some of the attitudes and the expressed kind of feelings and apprehensions that Michiru is going through. Maybe it shows that I'm very much a bottle blonde myself, but I just find her oddly relatable in a really odd way, in a way that's just hard to explain. So in a way, I'm really happy we did this route. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the other routes because the quality of the writing is just beautiful, but man, this is going to be tough to top. And I'm excited for today because today's going to be the first date between these two. I'd say first because I have a feeling it's going to go horrifically wrong in a lot of ways because I don't know if Michiru really understands what she signed up for, and I am in her head, I think she's expecting something a lot more romantic-like. I think a lot of us too, I think it's not even just a Michiru thing. I think a lot of times, especially when we're young and we're first starting to go out on dates, and we get we have a person we like and we actually get to go on a date for the first time. Either either you ask and you overcome that fear, kind of making it happen, which is what Michiru went through, or the expectation of going out for the first time, especially if you've never been in a relationship before and you don't really know what to expect except for the stuff maybe you see on TV, right? And then you actually go on the date and you can have a blast, but you will always feel a little there's that level of disappointment because you get so You romanticize so much in your own head, plus the added stuff you see in social media and on television and shows and whatnot. You put that together and you get this cocktail of way over the top expectations for what is reality, which is that you go on a date and while if you could feel it's you get the awkwardness of the date, but you mix it with the fact that it doesn't really feel much different than it was hanging out with them before. So it kind of makes this really interesting mush. The only times that dates don't have that feeling is if you're dating rather blind. So you hook up online, you connect that way, or you have a very spontaneous date, which is some of my favorite kind of, I would call them blind dates almost, but not the kind that I got hooked up with. Every blind date I was set up on always was a disaster. But I would also consider a blind date on a personal level, which is where you meet somebody, you have a good first impression, and you ask them out. I've had a few of those, and the nice thing about that is that because there's no clear established expectation, and you don't have that prior acquaintanceship or relationship or friendship, it lets you build right on the foundation and just start from the bottom, and that makes it so that the date doesn't feel nearly as awkward because it's so much just trying to figure out who that other person is beyond the surface level that you've already found interesting. So what am I expecting from this? Lukewarm date, not living up to Michiru's expectations. I think she's going to be fairly disappointed, but if things go well, it will end on a positive note and it will encourage I don't know if Yuuji is going to really be the one to kind of keep pushing things per se, but I don't think he's going to say no. That's the other thing that's really impressed me about Yuuji is that fact that he's kind of being his own aloof, standoffish kind of, himself, which is not, understandable, normal. But what I really loved was when Dark Michiru showed up and said, hey, go out with the girl. She's been spending days, the last couple of days trying to work up the courage to kind of ask you out on a date. And she's really struggling here. So just go ask her out. Just give her what she wants. And he's like, no. And she's like, why? And he was like, because if she wants it, she should get it herself. And I was like, okay, that's kind of rough, but I get it. And then he revealed in his thoughts later how he's just knowing that Michiru finds it disturbing that the stuff that she wants, she'll want something, she'll black out, and she'll return to herself, and everything will have worked out exactly pretty much how she wanted it to, and she has no memory of how it happened. People seem really on board with everything. and she has no like idea why it happened and how disturbing that is. And I like how he had the presence of mind to be like, look, that would be cruel to like sidestep her courage, because it took her a long time to build up the courage to blubber her way through. Again, that also is very much like reminiscent of me. Like, I had no trouble asking people on dates, but when it came to asking people whom I really liked on dates, I was a blubbering mess too. But it's so worth it, overcoming that disadvantage and being able to feel like even if you stumbled your way through and looked like an idiot, like you came out the other side having accomplished what you wanted, and that feels really good. And so again, I'm really impressed that Yuuji like has that presence of mind, and he was like, look, I'm going to respect and essentially upheld like Michiru's desires of like what she wants. I don't think he's going to pander to her. I think he's going to treat her like an individual, and that's really what she needs, because even if other people are trying to be like, you know, considerate of her and her feelings, Dark Michiru kind of isn't, because Dark Michiru just wants things to be okay, and she kind of wants to help, but she's overstepping, not realizing that because she, like Light Michiru doesn't remember it, that it just comes off really creepy. So yeah, anyway, enough rambling. This is one of my longest intros. I apologize for it, but it's a lot of important stuff. So let's jump into the content, shall we? The next day, I get out of bed at 5:45 a.m. as usual, and after some quick preparations, I head outside for my early morning jog. That's right, the day is going to be a running one. But as I emerge into the lobby, I hear a strange clattering sound from Michiru's room upstairs. I haven't heard anything about the girl tossing and turning in her sleep. Wonder if something's happening. Oh, well, guess it's nothing to worry about. At my normal time, I run my normal distance at my normal pace. Nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever, but such regularity is precisely the point of a routine course like this. I head back to my room, take a light shower, rinse off my sweat, boil my beans, and have my breakfast. While masticating steadily away. Masticating? I'm not sure if I've definitely never used that word before. I think contextually I get what it means, but I ponder a certain philosophical dilemma. Do beans have emotion? Okay. Some claim that a cacti can sense human feelings. What, then, of the bean? They don't scream when you boil them, but perhaps some among them know they use their bean. Plants might be aware of the world in their own unknowable way. Under such a hypothesis, even vegetarians would be monstrous mass murderers, brandishing their cruel shining knives. They gruesomely flay innocent carrots, chop their bodies into sections, and then consume them to the core. Perhaps we should put a price on the head of those habitually cornflaky, crunchy serial killers. He's, like, dad joking himself. Come to think of it, my stocks are depleted. Oh, he's talking about beans. I thought he was talking about actual stocks. I was like, you play the market, Yuuji? This is no time to be thinking of idiotic puns. Without Sachi and Amane around, I have no one to rely on for the procurement of my foodstuffs but myself. Suppose I'll take a quick break and head to the supermarket. Feeling the calm mid-morning sunlight on my skin, I'm almost tempted to set off for another run before my afternoon training. But there's no point in excessive exercise unless you're a masochist who finds pleasure in making your body scream. Not milking. We're not milking your body. Not for here. Of course, the act of running can be pleasant in its own right. I myself sometimes head out for a jog merely to change my mood. It's just a matter of moderation. That's such an alien concept to me. It's such a painful thing for me. Again, big part of it, asthma. Just, even with medicine, it makes running just hurt. It sucks. It's something I should overcome. But I don't think, even if I were in the best shape of my life, I doubt I would ever find it a pleasurable experience. I think the only pleasure I would get from running would be being able to stick it to the man, essentially, but the man being my own cursed body, and be like, screw you, I'll do it anyway. You know? Yeah. I make my way back to the dorm, bags full of beans in both hands. I brought in bulk today. If I had slightly more goodness in my heart, I could probably get every small furry animal in a 3-mile radius through the winter with these. Then again, receiving a mountain of nuts outside my room in the spring from a grateful forest friends would be a serious nuisance. I think I'll consume these beans on my own. With this much in stock, my basic needs should be met for some time. What on earth is that? What? Look at that. She is not ready for running, but that's an adorable outfit. Oh my gosh. That's really cute. Holy cow. I swear I even know somebody who wore that exact outfit at one point. There's a woman acting strangely in front of our gate. She digs into the ground with her tiptoes for a moment, only to abruptly twirl around in a circle on the spot. Don't tell me that's Michiru. What on earth is that girl doing? I sincerely doubt the outside world will prove nearly as so tolerant of her peculiar taste in headwear as we have. I did tell her to tag along with my afternoon training, but that's still a good 3 hours away. What's her objective here? Tell me, Michiru, what exactly are you doing out here? After this undignified shriek of surprise, Michiru stares at me with a blank, dumbstruck expression. From all appearances, she seems to be in a state of shock. Is there something wrong with the girl? It's only clear now I've approached her, but she has numerous bandages on her fingertips. Don't tell me that mangy cat bit her and passed on some strange disease. I did vaccinate the thing, so maybe it was too late. Hello, you do recognize me. Pull yourself together. Huh? Say what? Yeah, there's no context to that line whatsoever. What? She's going for the trophy, like, I as far as I understand it, like, the showing up early but making it sound like you're not is a very traditional kind of Japanese thing. Well, like, kind of traditional in the sense that, like how in America we say things like, bless you when someone sneezes. Like, no real reason. There's a cultural thing there, like the implication about being like nice and thoughtful, but I'm trying to not make it sound like you're, you know, going out of your way for another person when you actually are, you know, like there's a lot of like nuance to it, but ultimately it's one of those things where it's like, it's just kind of like a thing. But like, it's also, she's playing it up so tropey because she's like 3 hours early from what we were supposed to be doing. She's all dressed up, and then she's speaking as if like we've been keeping her, like she kept us waiting, despite the fact that she's been the one waiting. Oh my gosh. An improbable theory pushes its way into my mind. Please don't tell me she's seriously come to our meeting place a full 3 hours early. Michiru, my friend, it's still a good 3 hours before the arranged time. When asked, did you wait long? I can only respond, no, in fact, I hadn't even begun. Is this girl even hearing what I'm saying to her? Okay, Michiru, listen carefully. I'm just coming back from shopping at the supermarket by the station, and my training isn't for hours. I wasn't waiting for you, and I'm not going yet. Can you seriously not understand this? My supermarket bags still dangle from both hands. I stand there dumbfounded. The girl's completely off on her own little world. To be fair, man, you like, when you just swooped in and gave her her first kiss out of the blue, you pretty much just obliterated her. Like, I don't blame her for being a little befuddled and being super excited. I mean, come on. How many of us could agree that when we got to have that first date with a person whom we really, really liked, that we weren't absolutely ready to go 3 hours before we needed to be? That we meticulously were thinking and planning and dressing and like styling and doing everything we could to make ourselves as ready as possible so early that we ended up just twiddling our thumbs for hours. Michiru peers into the plastic bag with a face full of confusion. Beans have nothing to do with training. Listen, I'm gonna head back to my room, drop these off, so just stay where you are for now. Guess there's no helping it. I'll bring my schedule forward somewhat. Almost like? Well, whatever. Incidentally, we'll be running on the road used by civilians, so remove the cat before we go. Yes, the one on your cranium. I don't think she understands what this date's supposed to be. Oh, Michiru, bless your heart. Aww. She's so excited. She's so happy. I feel really bad because I don't think she realizes what this is gonna be, but I'm so happy for her. You're disturbing me, woman. All right then, stand by for a moment, understood? She's just so happy. I honestly have no idea what the girl's thinking. I only said we could come along from training, right? What part of that prompted this simpering grin? In the first place, is she seriously planning to run in those clothes? Even a pair of sneakers would have earned partial credit, but no such luck. Then again, hardly any point in complaining now. I'm the one who authorized her to accompany me. Suppose I should have to roll with it. Aww. She's so happy. I also love that the cat's back. The feline has reclaimed its perch. I like how she doesn't even notice it anymore. How do you not notice something like that? Are the nerves in your head not functional? I have no idea what was close to what, strange woman. Why place a cat on your cranium? Perhaps she's aware the US Marines use the tie ropes around their heads to enable allies high in the rigging to distinguish friend from foe? It's always military with him. You can just wear a hat with fourth leaf emblem on the top, Michiru. That insignia is something like an iconized version of the rope they used in the old days. She's choosing to interpret it very liberally, and I love it. I don't think I said anything of the sort, actually. I have to say, though, your clothes today leave a different impression than usual. You can... They're freaking... Well, he's not going to say this, but they're gorgeous. It's a great outfit. It looks fantastic. I almost worry, like, what time of year? It's supposed to be summer, though, right? Like, I feel like a long sleeve shirt would be really stifling in the heat, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, get the feeling you put some real effort. Okay, sure. That a fact. My impression was that you brought several outfits yesterday and carefully chose this one from the menu you tried on this morning. Was I mistaken? She's like, how do you know? You weren't in the dorm much yesterday. You came back with bags full of from clothing stores in both hands. Also, I heard you clattering around the first thing in the morning. You're a troublesome one, woman. Well, yeah. Hey, ho. It's cute. This is not gonna last. This energy is gonna be gone. Yep, there we go. We're like 5 feet down the road. What's the matter, Yosaku? I thought you were being energetic. Oh, something wrong? Color me impressed. She apparently has actually kept up relatively well. Considering her outfit, like, I've never run in heels. I don't know if she's in heels. She's probably in flats to be able to keep up this much. But even so, even in just normal shoes, like basic sneakers or even just like, I don't know, just flats, like, I cannot imagine that being comfortable after like moving at a brisk pace for longer than a couple minutes. It's easier to calculate your distance that way, right? And consistent road conditions are best for training purposes. Sheesh. Yeah, see, I couldn't do 3 hours. Nope. That's a lot. We took regular breaks, didn't we? 5 minutes every hour. What's the problem?
腹空かないちょっとここらでね
Definitely not her mental image of a first date, I'm sure. I suppose you have a point. It is around that time of day. Somewhat lengthy break might be in order.
そうしようご休憩
Aww. Her face brightening, Michiru points toward the high spot so she's so fond of.
あそこがいいピクニックするならあそこ
No picnic. We're going back to the dorm, eating there, and then resuming our training.
やだのそうじゃなくてほらあそこでシート広げてお弁当のトレーニングしましょうね
So box lunch training. Field training in the distribution of portable rations, eh? Well, I suppose it can't hurt.
でしょほらねじゃあ行こうレッツラドーン
Let's red on. And now she's energetic all of a sudden.
へへ
She's been looking forward to this. She's probably been preparing for this all day. Oh yeah, she had bandages on her fingers. She probably made the box lunch, and she's been carrying it around this whole time, waiting for an opportunity.
シート
Michiru, my friend.
何
Well, your head.
わかんないわねとりあえずシート敷いちゃうからね
That cat. Michiru retrieves a woven wooden basket from somewhere or other, thrusts her hand inside, and withdraws a plastic picnic sheet.
はいじゃあパパッと広げちゃうね
She planned this all out. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's actually really funny because I absolutely did this in college. When you're in college and you're broke, trying to plan fun and interesting dates can be a bit of a challenge, but that's where creativity comes in. And spiriting away a picnic basket full of like a lunch that you made like on your own, including like I don't know basic baked goods, which I'm definitely much better at now than I used to be, but I was all right. And being able to like go like I think I even had like. You can use so many cool resources, especially if you don't even need to be in school. If you just live near a school campus, like honestly, you've got some really like handy date material at hand. So one thing we did is like the date I'm thinking of here was we went to a short symphony. So like the symphonic orchestra of the school was doing a very brief like rehearsal performance. So we got to go and listen to some beautiful classical music, which is something that I kind of like. I knew that she was already kind of interested in. And so it was just a good opportunity for us to go listen to some music. And afterwards, we went on a short walk through a garden, but then like secretly I'd kind of set up and had a friend kind of keep an eye on a little patio that, was in the garden, but made sure to keep it a little clear. And we had an impromptu picnic. I surprised her with it. And it was a really fun little date. Nothing really came of it. Like I think we went on one more date and then just, went our separate ways because that's how that kind of stuff works. But I was very proud of the date and like being able to put that together. Again, I can't help but see so much of like my own self in Michiru, which is really weird. Like, again, I think it's just because I also had a bit of a adorable idiot bit to myself. In fact, I'm probably still technically an adorable idiot, though adorable is the questionable part.
Oh yeah.
As she expands the sheet, and it twists violently in midair and falls to the ground in a tangled lump.
Okay.
She tries again, but the exact same powerful jerk naturally produces the exact same result. Impressive in a way. Such another ineptitude at something as basic as spreading out a sheet must be fairly rare. Give it here, I'll do it. Like so, and so.
すごいもしかしてユージってビニールシートのプロ
Even the cat's shocked. There's no such profession.
でもほら街中で段ボールとビニールシートで
Stop, please. Say no more. I understand. Yes, those people are pros. I'm an amateur.
ではでは座りましょうかね
Oh, here she is. Cheerfully taking off her shoes, Michiru sits down on the soft plastic seat. When I remove my sneakers and follow, she places our shoes in the four corners of the sheet. Interesting. Is that just to help hold it down, or is there some other meaning to that?
こうするとねめくれない
True enough. Clever.
へへへそれじゃあご飯の時間ですよさあユージくんなんだと思う
Interesting. We've never seen or had an implication of how her cooking might be. I'm a little nervous. Sandwiches, I imagine.
なんで
You normally don't make your own food, so it seems unlikely you cooked rice and prepared side dishes. Sandwiches just involve cutting bread and stuffing its ingredients, so it strikes me as a more plausible possibility. She's like, gosh darn it, why does he know so well? Also, those band-aids on your fingers. I initially thought you might have gotten scratched by the cat, but now I'm thinking you nicked yourself with kitchen knife, so... Anyway, what did you make?
サンドイッチです。
I see. Well, get on with it. All this talking's making me hungry.
本当によーし、ちゃんと残さず食べるんですよ
It's like, again, it's like Yuji's so interesting because he's so like I feel like he comes across really monotone. He's very like straight to business, no nonsense, and yet he's so nonsensical at the same time. And then at the same time, he comes across really like in this really subtle way, thoughtful. But he's never simping. Like he's never very like, he's not bubbly. He's not clearly trying to please, but you can see how he's trying to please. Honestly, it's a very commendable way to do it. I think one of the biggest flaws for people who, not the nice guys as in like incel nice guys, but people who are genuinely like kind and thoughtful, I think we struggle when dating because we can come across very like anxious, nervous, over sympathetic, and it can make us seem very passive, which can be overwhelming. And like I've gone on dates with people who were like that, and I found it unappealing. And yeah, I'm sure I reflected those same attitudes when I was going out because I was so concerned about people. And I think Yuji's actually got a pretty decent balance going here, where he's not sugarcoating and he's not like holding things back, but he's also not being cruel, and he's willing to go with it, and he's willing to show respect. Like when she had her outfit, he didn't just dismiss it. He also didn't just blatantly say like you're being dumb or whatever. He kind of called her out saying like, hey, I saw you come with shopping bags. I know you were working this morning, so I'm guessing you picked out your favorite outfit out of a selection. But I think it looks good. Like he gave her a compliment that it favored her. It wasn't like, oh, you're so gorgeous, but it was like, it's a nice look. It's a nice change. You know, it was like, I think it was fairly well balanced. It's interesting because that's not a common trope you see in a lot of visual novels. But I think it's a good something to strive for. And I'm guessing Yuji most often is not a great like example of like someone to try to be. But in this case, I think he is. The girl places her offering on the sheet. It's an entire loaf of plain bread. Oh no. Its interior gouged out and stuffed with a salad. Oh no! I'd fully expected her cooking to be incompetent, but I never anticipated such a novel technique. I don't think you can call this a sandwich, actually.
へへほら、ユージは運動をすごくするから、サンドより栗の木の方がいいかなって。量が多い方がいいかなって。
A bread cave.
いうとこ、男の子だよね。
I'm not going to eat this.
なんでひどくない頑張って作ったのに。
Not relevant. I don't like your disrespectful treatment of valuable provisions. Well, I suppose there's no helping it today, but expect severe punishment next time you pull a stunt like this.
厳罰って何
I don't know if she sounds scared or curious. A slap to the face.
やだそれやだじゃあもう今後は気をつけます
Now, is that smirk because of the idea of the slap? But actually, I'm thinking it's the whole, like, next time. She's like, oh, next time I'll be careful. Like, because what did he say? Yeah, I suppose it's not helping it today, but so expect severe punishment the next time you pull a stunt like that. Like, implying, like, he's kind of opened the door to, like, let's do this again. You know, that's a pretty cool step to see. And, like, if you're listening and you're interested in somebody and they say casually something like that, implying that, like that they consider that this is far from the first and only time that this kind of event is going to happen, that's like a, yes, victory. Why are you laughing?
だって今後ってことは、またこうして二人でお弁当を食べる機会があるってことでしょ
That's not what I meant. I'm just telling you to treat food with respect.
ふふんまあいいから召し上がれ
She's so like, yes. My admonition seems to have been brushed off. I grab Michiru by her twin tails and pull her face extremely close range and repeat myself. Hold it. It's not all good. Listen carefully. Treat food with respect. All right. Glad to see you got the message.
何よ、怖いんだから。せっかくのデートだって言うのに。
What, you're whining? Well then, I'll have some.
変な泣き方した。
Michiru's cooking looks beyond terrible, but the taste isn't bad. Not to say that it's particularly good either, but the gap with its appearance works in her favor. Or perhaps I was simply hungry. I'd say yes. The answer is just yes. Across the board. Yes. As I cram the huge lump of bread in my mouth, Michiru watches with a bright smile on her face.
美味しかった?
Suppose so. Exceeds expectations, let's say. Either way, you worked hard on that, right? It'd be bad manners to turn up my nose.
頑張って作ったなんて私言ったっけ?
Yes, you did. Anything to drink?
そう言うと思って用意しました。ポーポー茶。
What is that? Never heard of it.
嘘、知らないの？飲んでます。ポーポー茶のあの CM の。
Yuuji and I are definitely a common in the sense that we don't watch much TV. And if he did, I doubt he pays attention to commercials. Like I said, no, I don't really care. Hurry up and give it here.
飲んでますって斬新なフレーズだったのにな。飲むってなんだよみたいな。はい、お茶。
Aww. Michiru passes me this mysterious beverage in a thermos. The taste is that of perfectly normal blended tea.
風が気持ちいいね、ここは。いつ来ても。
True enough. I think I sort of understand why the cat likes it so much.
猫？ああ、猫にゃ。じゃなくて、あれか、これか。にゃー。
Relaxing outside like this, Michiru certainly doesn't seem like the problem child. She looks like a normal girl you'd find anywhere.
お、何見てんだ？
Nothing. Alright, guess we should going back to the dorm.
またほら、ねえ、またこういうことをしよう。別にほら、したくてするわけじゃないのよ。お互いに暇じゃない？
Yeah? I'm not free. Oh, come on!
ああ、じゃなくて、暇じゃなくて、ほら、忙しくないわけでしょ。
Oh, maybe...
だからね、
maybe
こんな
he...
ことしてもいいわよね。
Are we done? I kept stumbling over your words, I'm sorry. Maybe he's wanting her to be more decisive and not be so hemi-high because she's, you know, doing the tsundere type act. I think he wants her to be straightforward. But I think if she said, hey, let's do this again tomorrow, he'd probably be like, okay. Michiru's completely forgotten her tsundere attitude and her desperation. She really is a normal girl, isn't she? Right down to the comical array of bandages on her fingers. Do you really want to date me that badly?
そんなこと。
Come on. All you have to say, like, you know Yuuji, he's a direct person. All you have to say is, yes, I want to date you. He'll probably be like, okay.
ああ、違うわよ。これはね、暇つぶしのただの遊びなのよ。デートじゃなくて、デートごっこよ、ごっこ。
Michiru, you're gonna regret it. He'll take you at your word.
だから、ごっこならね、いくらしたっていいじゃない。
Pretend, huh?
そう、ごっこです、ごっこ。
Alright, since it's a game, I don't see any problem with that. You went out of your way to buy yourself cute clothes, so it would be wasteful to only use them once. I suppose we can play again.
本当に？
Yeah, it's just a play date, right? Combat drills, not actual battle.
そうよ、そう。いざ実戦を迎える前の演習なのよ。じゃあそういうことで、またね、デートごっこをしようね。
Oh. Thinks she should have just not gone with the safe route, but at the same time, she's terrified, so. For the time being, we're gonna run another 5 kilometers or so today. How about a 20K for the next date?
ですよね。
She's like, right, take it. You have a complaint?
それでいいです。はい。
After putting away the plastic sheet, we set off for a little light post-prandial exercise. Well, think you can keep up? You can always head back to the dorm first if you want.
一緒に行く。
Aww. I see. What's the watchword then?
えいおー。
Michiru's grinning as she jogs toward me. Somehow, there's a slight smile of amusement on my face as well. Yeah, there is. The wind is unceasingly pleasant, the sea below us infinitely wide. Yeah. That was pretty good. When I leave my room the next morning for my daily marathon, I find Michiru standing in the lobby with a beaming smile on her face. Surely this can't be what it looks like, but it's probably best to ask for safety's sake. What are you doing out here at this hour, woman?
忘れたの？デートごっこするんでしょ？約束したじゃない。
It's like 6 in the morning! No, I didn't forget. It was impulsive of me, but I did indeed promise a girl more pretend dates. That said, it's currently 5 in the morning. Does she seriously expect me to play house at this hour? Yes, I agreed to that, but I have my own life as well. Running in the morning is my daily routine. You're aware of that, aren't you?
知ってるわよ。
And what time is it right now?
5時。朝の。
You know what? We gotta admit, the fact that she's even awake. Remember, she was always like the sleeping in girl. So normal mornings, she like, if she didn't have to be up for like class, she was up at like 10 o'clock. The fact that she's up bright, early, dressed and ready to go at 5 in the morning is really impressive. So what do you want from me?
デートごっこ行きませんか？
No, I think not. As I might have mentioned, I'm going for a run right now.
へえ、昨日約束したのに。嘘つき。
We have all day! Michiru's face crumples with disappointment. The girl looks about ready to burst into tears, but for the moment she focuses on swinging her arms wildly in my direction. Her movements are clumsy in the extreme, but also unpredictable. Every once in a while, an amateur's haphazard swing can become a KO punch in the chin out of sheer random chance. I take a careful step backward and attempt to negotiate. Don't jump to conclusions. Yes, I promised. I'm just saying that the crack of dawn isn't a reasonable time for a playdate.
だったら何時からならいいんですか？
Oh my gosh, she's so excited. Let's see. A little past noon, just like yesterday. Seems more appropriate.
わかった。じゃあそれで決定ね。あんた、もしその時間にどっかに逃げたりしたら承知しないからね。
I wouldn't dream of it. I won't run or hide. In the meantime, why don't you come up with some place for us to go?
立てていいの予定？私が？つまりデートプラン？
She's like,
ごっこの。
she's like, wait, I could plan it. We don't have to go running. That's right. You have any problem with that?
いや、ほら、普通デートの予定って男女のカップルだったら男の人が考えるものじゃないの？女の人が希望を言って男の人がそれを組む。
It's actually interesting because culturally that may be true, but frankly that should break down very quickly. I think the first few dates should be, well, I don't know. Even then, like if you're gonna go the traditional route, that's what it would do. But I would also argue technically that like no one in their right mind would complain. Like I don't know a single guy. I don't care what side of like the political spectrum they're on. If a girl that they are interested in were to ask them on a date, plan that date, they'd have no problem with that. There can be questions about who pays, and frankly, I think that at least for the first few, until you're like officially in a relationship, the one who pays should be the one whose idea was to put the date together. But as soon as you start doing these collaborative get-togethers, which is pretty soon, I think it's perfectly reasonable for the girl to have planned a date and the guy to plan a date. Like, the tab should be split. Like, it's not like the chivalryness is kind of more supposed to be about like, hey, I'm grateful you came out with me, let me treat you. But as soon as you start making it a regular thing, it really should become a, hey, we're doing this together, let's both let's take turns, or let's split the bill or whatever. Like, I don't know. I've never had an issue with that. Like, I feel like all the dates I've had with people who were, worth going out with, there was never drama about like who's supposed to do what. It just worked. So yeah, whatever. What? So we're not just doing the play dates, we're pretending to be lovers.
まあそういうことよ。 そもそもデートってそういうものでしょ？え、違うの？そうよね。
Again, like the line between real and fake is like really blurred already. Well, I understand what you're trying to say. In that case, I'll retain decision-making power. How does this sound, a plan for today's date? After a light round of jump squats, we proceed to the death-defying one-rope bridge. Then, after removing any watches or other metal objects on your person...
待って、いいです。私が決めます。お任せください。
She's like, please, please. Why? The blueprint was just starting to come together.
いいです。というか大丈夫です。私が完璧にやってみせますから。
Alright then, let's go with that.
はい。では、いってらっしゃいまし。
Michiru waves goodbye with a big smile on her face. Something seems to be missing from this picture. May as well be asking for clarity's sake, I suppose. Michiru, my friend?
何？
Weren't you supposed to be a tsundere?
そうよ。そうに決まってるじゃない。あんたなんかね、走ってる途中で海に落ちちゃえばいいのよ。
I really love that the facade is completely like falling off. Like we have to remind her outright now. It's like most of the time we're just getting real like Michiru. We're getting like the real girl. And frankly, the real girl's way cuter. Okay, think randomly wishing horrible deaths on your acquaintance is a less tsundere and more of a twisted. Indeed, perhaps I should just fall into the sea, but if I do happen to plunge into a watery grave this morning, I imagine you'll come to deeply regret making such a thoughtless joke. Every night, I'll appear in your dreams, standing at the foot of your bed, dripping wet, resentment burning in my eyes. Alright then, I'll be going now.
いやー！だって、それは重い。軽い気持ちで罵倒したにしては報いが重すぎる。
She's like, what are you doing? I imagine so. Let that be a lesson to you.
いってらっしゃい。無事に帰ってきてね。
Aww. Oh look, you can say proper goodbye after all. Should have to be honest with yourself from the start.
せいえい。いってら。
And so I was able to safely complete my routine. Daily training of this sort is meaningful precisely because you perform it without fail. No matter how small your stride may be, what's important is to keep steadily putting one foot in front of the other. Surprisingly, many people get it completely backward. When an amateur signs up for a sports gym, they frequently exercise for hours on the very first day without the thought for the consequences, doing more harm than good to their bodies. A workout schedule needs to be approached systematically to ensure a steady daily amount of exercise suited to your physical capabilities. Otherwise, you'll quit after a week with nothing but aches and pains for your trouble. Very true, actually. Very solid advice. Like, the victory of exercise is in making it consistent, not in making it spectacular. When I return to the dorm, Michiru seems to be obediently standing by her room in preparation for our afternoon outing. I was worried about the possibility of a panting, saliva-spewing greeting in the manner of a dog impatiently awaiting its walk, but it seems things aren't quite that bad. Even after taking my shower, there's still plenty of time before our 1 p.m. date. Throw myself down to the bed to read one of the books Sakaki left me before her departure. Today I've got a first-person work of reportage written in a war photographer. Unlike fiction, this book captures a vivid slice of reality. Very interesting stuff. There's even a few comic anecdotes, like the time he tried to exchange money inside a disputed region and got handed a stack of newspaper bills with a few real notes on top of the bottom. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. Essentially, Monopoly money with real money on the top and the bottom to make it look authentic. Clever swindle. Takes advantage of the natural assumption someone's not going to cheat you so blatantly face to face. A simple but effective bit of misdirection, almost like a sleight of hand trick. You're not going to see through something like that until you've cast aside your unconscious assumptions about what could possibly be. All of a sudden, I noticed that 1 p.m. has come and gone. Bit of a surprise. I would have expected Michiru to come drag me away by now. Deciding I might as well wait for her to show up, I reach for another book. But for some reason, I find myself unable to concentrate. The ticking of my clock seems strangely loud all of a sudden. Can't maintain my usual focus on the printed word. Yeah, what's up with this? Alright, suppose I might as well head over myself. Mumbling to no one in particular, I drop my book and head for Michiru's room. Michiru, you in there? It's about time, isn't it? I knock on the door and call out, but receive no response. There's always a possibility she had to leave on a pressing business, I suppose. If so, she could have at least said something to me, but, well, that's her choice to make. The girl can do as she pleases.
Meow!
You're the same cat, aren't you? The black cat that's recently spent most of its time fused to Michiru's skull pushes the door open, poking its face outside. The animal's here. It seems quite possible that Michiru's still in her room as well. But she didn't respond to my voice at all? Some sort of trouble, maybe? Michiru, I'm coming in. When I reach out for the doorknob, the black cat pulls back in panic. Seems the little beast as strongly dislikes me. I enter the room slowly, keeping an eye out for booby traps out of an abundance of caution. Inside, I find Michiru lying face down on her bed, breathing the soft, regular manner of a contented sleeper. Maybe all the really early mornings and excitement finally caught up with her. I was prepared for the possibility of something being seriously wrong, so I have to admit this is a bit of an anticlimax. Sleeping in, are we? And after all the squawking this morning, you're a carefree one. Aww. The cat hops into the bed and licks Michiru's cheek repeatedly, but she doesn't even stir. Come to think of it, the girl's tagged along for a full 15 kilometers of running yesterday. Hardly surprised she'll be exhausted. It wasn't particularly impressive distance by my standards, but for a typical female student, I suppose it was a praiseworthy effort. Well, calling this woman typical strikes me as somewhat problematic, but I'll save that debate for another day. I like how our subconscious, absolutely just wants the cat to be there. The cat and I look at each other and share the equivalence of a wry smile. Michiru's face appears to be resting on a fashion magazine. There's a picture of an outfit she wore yesterday circled in red permanent marker. Even after all that exercise, I'm getting the feeling she was up late last night, in which case, it'd probably be more considerate to let her sleep instead of dragging her outside. I give the cat a single pet on the head, causing it to flee immediately, and turn to leave. Get some rest. We'll cancel today's date. What? Was this some kind of trap then? Hmm? Just go back to sleep, alright? No reason to push yourself. Michiru forces out the words while gargling weakly at me through half-open eyes. Her claim rendered even less convincing when she rises to her feet and promptly staggers to the side, so nearly trampling at her pet. It's okay. We can have one tomorrow. There he is. Listen, just go back to bed. There's no reason to pointlessly exacerbate your exhaustion. I see. How much did you get last night? That is insane. Girl, go to bed. 8 minutes? It's not even a nap, woman. Get back in that bed and sleep long enough to secrete your growth hormones properly. Well, if you insist. Let's get going then. Make your preparations in the next 30 seconds. Suppose not. You have 5 minutes then. I'll wait outside. Up there, she remembered. Just how long will it take this girl to get a solid grasp on the tsundere concept anyway? In old movies, they often represented the time wasted away waiting for a woman with a pile of cigarette butts on the ground. But these days, there's heightened social and legal pressure regarding both public smoking and littering. That's become a pretty rare sight. What then can take the place of that image as a visual shorthand for a man kept waiting by a woman? A red battery icon on the cell phone even using to browse the internet? That's a fair one. Not really feeling the atmosphere from that one. In the first place, it's so easy to send messages these days that waiting in vain may well be a less frequent phenomenon than before. I'm still pondering these matters when Michiru appears, complete with cat hat. It's been exactly 5 minutes since I left her room. Didn't anyone tell you to arrive 5 minutes early to your appointments?
当たり前でしょ。5分で準備しろって言われて5分前行動できたら、それはもう何？ それはもう何かじゃない。
yeah, yeah. Please define whatchamacallit.
なんかこう時間を操る謎の人物、謎のタイムパラドクサー。
Honestly, pretty decent answer. Okay, let's get going already. I'll leave you behind.
待ちなさいよね。あれ、本当に置いてかないでよ。待ってよ。というわけで考えました、デートプラン。
Yeah, yeah. Good, let's hear it.
松島みちる様と行く0泊1日三島崎海の旅。
A 1-day 0-night trip. That's cute. Michiru delivers the line with all the triumph and flair of a strutted peacock. The beach? We just went a few weeks ago.
いやね、あれはダメだ。なかったことにしたい。知ってる？
Why would you want to forget that?
私、砂で身動き取れなくなって、何ニアムファルコンの船長かっつうぐらいになってね。
The Cave of Wonders. I see. Have to say, though, it's a bit of a boring choice from my perspective.
何言ってんのよ。二人なら楽しいよねぐらいのこと言いなさいよ。デートなんだから。
Pretend date, I believe.
ごっこだけどさ。
That said, I suppose you have a point. Just the two of us playing on the beach might not be bad.
本当にそう思ってくれる？
Aww. No, but we're pretending, so I said it anyway. Ah!
そうですか。
And so we set off walking for the nearest public beach, not rushing along, not flexing anxiously, not simply leisurely stroll, nothing unpleasant in its own right. What's up?
なんでもないや。手つなごうか。
Oh my gosh. She is a bold one. Hands? I see. We're on a pseudo date. That seems appropriate.
ごっこだもんね。
We gotta get rid of this safety barrier at some point. When I reach out, Michiru momentarily jerks her hand away, but soon tentatively surrenders to my grasp. She's got a decidedly small hand, with rather thin fingers. On closer examination, there seem to be small white flecks in her nails. Are you eating properly? Your fingernails don't seem to be getting inadequate nutrients.
あんたよりはマシなもの食べてるつもりだけど。
I'm not sure diet consisting of cheap sweets and takeout lunches can really be described as healthy, my friend.
うっさいわね。てか、そんな細かいとこまで見なくていいのよ。
It's interesting because I actually have had this issue in the past, but it's weird because it's very inconsistent. Like most of my fingernails look normal and fine, but like my toenails, yeah, oddly I get those little flecks, but I've got like a supplement like when I brought it up to my regular doctor visit, and so I just got a supplement of for me it was folic acid, which is just part of the stuff that your body makes your nails and hair out of. But for some reason it's like it only like affected my toes. It's really weird. I don't know how that works and why. True enough, this is a date after all. All right then, I will now offer a more date appropriate comment. You're wearing perfume, aren't you?
気づいた。
I smelled freesia and pink pepper at first, but now I'm getting heliotrope and iris with a hint of sandalwood and synthetic musk underneath.
わかるの？
To some degree, mostly intuition though. Anyway, there's no need to wear perfume. You smell nice naturally. I take a lock of Michiru's hair in my free hand and gently stroke it. After a moment, I allow the strand of blonde hair to fall through my fingertips. It whispers against my skin as it goes. Fetch, man, that's cranking it up to an 11 real quick. The cat watches me touch Michiru from the vantage point nearby, a supremely irritated look on its furry face.
いい匂いなんてしないもん。だって髪の毛色変えてるから、それの薬の匂いがするかなって思って。そんな。本当？
I have a feeling he's about to say, like, pretend to date, yes. No, not really. It's a lie. Like I said, I'm just pretending here. How many times do I have to say this? Why do you keep taking it seriously?
じゃあ私だって言うもん。ごっこだからね。
I understood the first time. No need to repeat yourself.
ユージにキスされた時ね。最初 すごいびっくりしたの。だってなんでそんなことするんだろうっていろいろ考えたけど答えが出なくて頭がぐるぐるになって。
This is actually really interesting to hear, like what her thoughts were.
それでもどうしてだろうってずっと考えてて、わかんないからもういいや、気にしないやって思ったんだけど、でもね、考えようとしてないのにユージのことが頭から離れなくなったの。
He just became this brain worm.
たった一度のキスでこんな風になるって私変なのかな。
Yeah, but you're also weird, but not weird. It's because it's so human.
嘘だけどね。
Maybe it's because you're not used to it? I doubt it matters that I'm the one that did it. Anyone would feel a little awkward over a sudden kiss and without much experience. I can see how it would weigh on your mind.
そっか。ユージはなんとも思わないの？私とキスして。
Alright, Yuuji. Come here. You're thin ice right now, buddy. I know this is still in the pretend zone technically, but you gotta really handle this one well. I'm gonna be upset. Come on. You saw what it did to her. Pretend or no. You gotta be careful with how you answer this. That's right. Didn't mean a thing to me. It's just a moment of physical contact.
それはユージが経験豊富だから、今までいろいろな女の子とキスしてきたから。だから。
Yeah, that's the gist of it. No feelings attached.
そうなんだ。そっか。なんか残念。まあ、ごっこ上の発言だから嘘だけど。
I was lying too, actually.
嘘なの？なんとも思わないって嘘なの？
Hold on. Are you seriously planning to do this to me every little thing I say? This is a pretend date, so I don't take anything coming out of my mouth seriously.
ごっこだけど、どこからどこまでが嘘なのか。
Oh my gosh!
せめて今のとこは本気で。
It's torture!
なんでもない。
Oh my gosh.
わかんないや。
Yeah, well, stop with the pretend! Just come out and talk about it! Michiru scratches vigorously at her head in confusion and in dismay. The cat, surprised by her sudden violent motion, leaps nimbly away.
まあいいか。今こうして一緒にいるんだし、こうして手をつないでるんだし。
Michiru strongly squeezes my hand as she speaks. The slightly sad look on her face belies her positive words. Seems my teasing has gone a little too far. Perhaps a conciliatory gesture is in order. Michiru, my friend, as this is a date, I happen to have a present for you.
本当に？なんで？ユージ？
Close your eyes and hold out your hand. Oh no. After a quick scan of the area, I pick up a rock of moderate size lying in the dirt nearby and return it gently in place in Michiru's open hand.
何これ重いんだけど。あとゴリゴリしてんだけど。
Alright, you can open your eye now. Michiru slowly opens her eyes and in the palm rests a majestic lump of stone. 石？ You wanted that one for a while now, right? I picked it up for you.
わーい！これずっと欲しかった。ねえ、これごっこだから。ごっこだからプレゼントが拾った石なの。
Right, it's a pretend date, so you get a rock I picked up off the ground. Now rejoice!
嬉しいよ。
Oh no! I see. Move to tears of joy, eh? Afterward, with comments such as "this is the hot color for fall" and collaborated with another designer on this one, I proceed to present Michiru with rock after rock. And every time Michiru answers "no way, I'm so happy" or "yay, what did I surprise?" and accepts my gifts with a great show of gladness. I see. Perhaps this dating thing is somewhat enjoyable after all. I offer rocks and receive joy in return. A strikingly surreal spectacle, if I do say so myself. And that I'll soon forget a sight of Michiru's shark pouch bulging at the seams from the cargo of stones.
石重いよ。てかこれ、中には岩って呼んだ方がいい大きさのもあるよ。
I'm amazed you kept up with it. Just throw them away when we're done. They're only rocks.
わかってるわよ。やってきました海。
Alright.
重い。
Alright. It's not the greatest place to end, but we are going to go ahead and end it here. This has been a really fun episode, but I don't want it to go on too long. My face is hurting from all the smiles. It's been a good time. I'm having a blast, so this is good. This is good. I'm curious to see how this pretend date is going to end. It's driving me crazy, but I also get that it's a good launching point that's kind of bridging the gap of awkwardness for both of them. So in a way, I think it works. It's utterly ridiculous, but, you know, what were we expecting? Nothing else. So, anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel and being able to join me on this wonderful escapade as we get to continue down the path of the pseudo-pretend dating with Michiru, which has already been just absolutely hysterical. I'm very excited to see where this date goes, and again, I want them to have a serious, real conversation, and I'm sure it'll happen. But till then, it's like, ugh. Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a part of the channel, especially to patrons and members. You guys are making it more and more likely that I can, you know, make content like this more often and kind of, you know, make sure I have time for it in my life. It's never going to be perfect. You know, I get sick. I'll have, like, upcoming trips and stuff that I'll have to take breaks for, but I'm so happy to be able to share these stories with you and that you find it entertaining. So thank you for being here. And I hope that you continue to join me for future episodes. And until the next video watching me, I will see me next. I'll see you there.